Techland has crafted a monster of a sequel that is bigger and better in almost every way. Here's our Dying Light 2 review. Decades into the apocalypse, the undead forces roaming the world evolve and grow stronger with each passing night, and humanity is fighting back. Within strongholds scattered across the city, technological breakthroughs are born and the tide of war is changing in favor of the living. An electronic wristband can keep people from turning after a zombie bite, and even the most aggressive monster variants don't stand a chance against the latest weapon innovations. But all is not well beyond these walls. Darkness lies within, and humanity's most significant threat for survival is itself. Greed, lust, betrayal, and arcane politics could ultimately lead to its downfall. Dying Light 2 Stay Human blends the terrors of the dead with the strife of life to create one of the most entertaining RPGs I've ever played. It's a triumph of storytelling, player choice, open world design, cooperative play, character customization, and perhaps most importantly, dropkicking zombies off skyscrapers. It's everything a sequel should be, growing the core formula in significant ways to make the high-flying, zombie-slaying experience sizzle again. Within the 50+ hours I vested into this fantastic game, I often thought about playing the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim for the first time, feeling overwhelmed by its wealth of content and not knowing if I screwed something up by a hasty decision I made. Dying Light 2 is drawn from that same breath, blending a rich world of discovery with choices galore. It's an experience you can lose yourself in, and almost all of the content you unearth is significant to evolving both the story and your character. Our guide into this wasteland is Aiden Caldwell, a survivor haunted by ghosts of his past, who re-enters society at a tipping point. Aiden is a likable lead who is defined mainly by his choices. He lords over the city like an apocalyptic judge, often determining who lives, who dies, and which factions gain wealth and power. Most of his choices carry weight and bring closure or new beginnings for many of the characters he meets along the way. I often had to stop and think about the benefits and ramifications of a decision. Techland sometimes forces your hand in these moments by putting the timer on the more pressing matters to heighten their impact, and it works. When Aiden heads out on a mission, the player is in for a real treat. Not only are the objectives well written and dynamic in how they unfold, they almost always push for Aiden to bound across rooftops. Dying Light 2's parkour system is a work of art, set within a beautiful, sprawling city that doubles as an architectural playground. Clear pathways are littered across the environments, allowing Aiden to keep momentum and reach almost any location by just running, jumping, and using some of the game's awesome gadgets. I won't go into what they are, as discovering them is part of the fun, but they all enhance the locomotion and are a blast to use. All told, this is one of the most satisfying and nicely designed traversal systems in FPS gaming. Aiden's missions offer plenty of variety, chain together locations, and sew puzzles and combat into the mix. I was impressed by how varied, well-written, and dynamically composed the missions are. The critical path delivers the big set-piece moments, but the side material is just as vital to the overall narrative and can be lengthy. Nothing in this game feels tacked on, it's all worth investigating, and it's all made better through cooperative play, as you and 3 of your friends can team up or divide and conquer to claim territories, clear out dangerous dark hollows, and find valuable loot, like inhibitor boxes that raise your stamina and health. Combat is the one area that takes a bit of a backseat to the other great content. It's a huge part of the experience, and it's a heck of a lot of fun to eviscerate biters, but it isn't as advanced as the other parts of the game, and it doesn't evolve much either. Regardless, crafting blades that cough fire and electrocute zombies is satisfying, and that dropkick I mentioned is worth using as much as you can. Boss battles and swarm battles are made better through cooperative play as the difficulty and hit points scale up and create more dynamic encounters. One such fight against the Titan pushed my group of 4 players to unload everything they had: Molotov cocktails, arrows, and carefully timed sword combos to finally drop. The rewards that came after were well worth the effort. Mastering parry timings against human foes who are just as abundant as zombies can be tricky, but isn't something you have to rely on as more combat moves unlock. Dying Light 2 is an engaging journey of discovery and gaining power. Almost everything you do embraces those dynamics. And beyond the first game's offerings, putting a strong emphasis on the character helps shape the world in meaningful ways. Some of Aiden's choices are difficult to make, especially those surrounding a character named Lawan, who's given a hell of a pulse by Rosario Dawson. I can't say enough great things where his and her stories go. I adored almost every second of this game and see myself revisiting it often, as Techland has announced at least 5 years of DLC is on the way. That's a wonderful promise to hear when starting a new game that has turned out this well. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch our Dying Light 2 review. It was written by Andrew Reiner and voiced and edited by myself, Alex Van Aken. Dying Light 2's release date is February 4th, and you can play it on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. If you're new to the Game Informer YouTube channel and enjoyed this type of video, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to help grow the channel, be sure to click the like button and leave a comment down below letting us know what you thought of our Dying Light 2 review. Thanks so